Hi, I'm Jack, founder of PC36, and today we're learning how to create a bootable Windows 11 USB so that you can install Windows on your shiny new gaming PC. If you've bought a full system from PC36 and chose to include Windows at checkout, you don't actually need to do this at all. However, this tutorial is vital for people who have bought our digital build guides, or of course anyone else out there that wants to learn how to make a USB stick with Windows on it. There are three methods, starting with the longest but best, and ending with the quickest but most expensive. Kind of reflects life, doesn't it? For method one, we're using a nifty little tool called Rufus. This is the preferred method because it gives the cleanest and easiest Windows installation of all three methods. It takes a little bit of work up front, but don't worry, I'm going to guide you through it step by step. Alright, so here's what you're going to need before we actually dive into the process. You'll need a working Windows PC or laptop for this process. If you don't have one, you could always borrow one from a friend or a family member. I'm using this laptop to do it today. You should also grab a USB drive with at least 8 GB to hold Windows 11. Now this USB stick is going to be completely wiped, so make sure there's nothing important on it that you haven't backed up. And you're going to need a couple of other key ingredients too. You're going to need a can-do attitude, and you're going to need some elbow grease. I don't actually have any elbow grease on me, but you know, it's all part of the joke. And with that terrible joke aside, we're going to swap to the PC view so I can explain how to do the whole process. So plug in your USB stick. Now head over to your favourite search engine and type in Rufus download. Click on the official website link and download Rufus, the one with the little P on the end. It's this nifty little program that will help us create our bootable USB. Once downloaded, head to your downloads folder and open Rufus. Okay, so it's open, let's work some magic. First things first, choose your USB stick from the menu at the top. Make sure you choose the correct one. Remember, any data on the USB you select will be deleted, so back up anything important before starting. Next, we'll need the Windows 11 ISO file. Now you might be wondering, what's an ISO file? Well, think of it as a digital copy of Windows 11 that we'll use to install our USB drive. Rufus is pretty cool. It could even help you download the Windows 11 ISO file directly. From this right menu, click the little arrow and change it to download. Choose your downloads folder and then click download to get the ISO. Choose the edition of Windows 11 that you want, and Rufus will grab the right ISO for you. Alright, so the ISO is now downloaded. Let's load it into Rufus. Click on Select and find the Windows 11 ISO that you just downloaded. Cool, so now you see a bunch of settings here. Just copy what I'm showing you on screen. Give everything a quick check over, make sure it's all correct, and then you can click Start. Once you've clicked Start, you're going to get all these options to do with privacy settings. I suggest you just copy what I have up on the screen here, and that's going to give you the leanest install with the least invasion of your privacy. Now it's time to hit that Start button. Rufus will remind you that everything on your USB drive will be erased. Just say yes and let the magic begin. So while Rufus is doing its thing, you might as well go make yourself a nice cup of tea or do something else. It takes about 15 minutes. After 15 minutes, Rufus has worked its magic and you've got yourself a shiny, bootable Windows 11 USB drive. Shut down the computer and take out the USB drive. And that's a wrap, chaps and chapettes. Your Windows USB is ready. So that's method one all wrapped up, but how about the other two methods? Well, remember, dear viewer, there are two other methods, aren't there? Method 2 uses Microsoft's official installer. So you're going to need all the same ingredients from before. You're going to need that USB stick and you're going to need another working Windows computer. Head to your search engine of choice and search for Download Windows 11. On this page, under the heading called Create Windows 11 Installation Media, click Download Now. This method is a lot simpler, however there are drawbacks. You have to go through the full Windows setup with a Microsoft account and you have to be online at the time to install everything, but after all that you're going to end up with Windows all the same. Now that that's downloaded, we're going to switch to the PC view so I can show you the entire process of making the USB stick. Plug your USB stick in. Run the installer that you've just downloaded. Choose the most appropriate options for you. Select the correct USB drive and double check it's the right one. Proceed through the installation and let the installer do its thing. Once it's finished, you'll have a bootable Windows USB. And here's your extra reminder, everything on that USB that you plugged in will be erased, so make sure there's no important information on there that's not backed up. You might be sat there thinking, what if I don't have access to another computer to make the USB? What if I don't want to make my own USB? Well, that brings us on to method number 3. If you live in the UK, you're in luck. Head to PC36.co.uk where you can pick up a USB stick with Windows on it already with a license pre-activated. Or if you're not in the UK, you can find an authorised dealer selling the USB drive near you. You don't want to go with these dodgy eBay sellers because they're actually selling this USB key illegally. It's actually against Microsoft terms of service. The downside of this method is that you have to buy the license key and USB key all in one go, which is more expensive than getting the Windows license separately from another seller. That's because, like I just said, it's illegal to sell the USB stick without the key. It actually infringes on Microsoft's copyright. This USB stick will be the same as the USB stick in method 2, so following it through is going to be basically exactly the same. You're just going to click through and sign into your Microsoft account. So those are your 3 methods. Hopefully you liked one of them at least, and subscribe and stay tuned for more helpful PC videos. I'll catch you in the next upload.